Peace, peace. Good evening. I'd like to welcome you back to another edition of the Five Playland. As always, I'm your five player coming at you live from my vacation destination of beautiful Maine. I think I'm not going to do a live video tonight because I'll be staying up too late when I do them from all the excitement. Can't get to bed in the aftermath. But I'm gonna, and I wanted to do this video. I didn't want to do it live, but fucking what do you call it? Like my wife downloaded a bunch of shit into this computer because neither one of us know computer stuff, or so she downloaded a bunch of videos and fucking pictures on this one. So while I was recording the last video, it fucking it stopped me dead in my tracks, like 10 minutes in. But yeah, I mean I'm gonna carry on with this one live. I'm gonna try to be out in a few minutes. But this video is, as it's titled, I mean, like that we gotta stop paying for these Gary Russell pay-per-views. Now, could that change? Of course it could change. I mean, of course he may be pay-per-view worthy in the future. But in the immediate sense, even going back to when Tank Davis fought Leo Santa Cruz, he said that that pretty much him defeating Leo Santa Cruz, that merits him to become a pay-per-view star now. Peace to Michael Johnson Boxing Talking More. Please, if you guys could subscribe. And he said you better pay for Tank fights, or I'm gonna send Hatton and Oscar your way. Yeah, they're gonna collect autographs. But and then even after that, I mean, when Tank Davis defeated Mario Barrios, which a lot of people expected him to do just that. Mayweather, who's Tank Davis's promoter, he actually said that they were going to be picking from within the dredges of PBC and Mayweather Promotions to pick for Tank Davis's fights. Now, if you want to do that, no problem. I mean, it's your fighter, your life. You do what you do. But if you want to do that and then pay for or charge me for the benefit of watching your fight, now you got a problem. Now you're trying to get it over on me, in trying to charge me for subpar fights or lackluster regular fights. Thank you, Fistiana, for coming through. I appreciate you checking out my other videos as well. And I also looked at some of your videos today. Like the font in your video descriptions looks different than others. I actually wanted to ask you how was I tripping, or did you do that intentionally? Because it looked cool. But thank you for coming through, Fistiana. Yeah, but so going back to Mayweather's statements of picking from the annals of Top Rank, I mean fucking PBC and Mayweather Promotions. These are I made a short list of the fights that potentially you may see in the short term for Tank Davis, and none of these fights are pay-per-view worthy. You can make an argument that maybe Leo Santa Cruz was pay-per-view worthy only because they both have names in Tank Davis and Leo Santa Cruz. I mean, granted, they're not humongous names. They're both fighting if they don't want to lose, they and she said and Fistiana said intentionally, I'll show you how. Yeah, thanks a lot. But both of these guys leading up to them fighting each other were both carrying themselves as if they were avoiding opposition in and around them. Leo Santa Cruz was avoiding Gary Russell Jr. I mean, and he was really outright about not wanting to fight Gary Russell Jr. Then you had Tank Davis. I mean, he didn't seemingly want to fight Lomachenko, which I thought when they were talking about that, I thought it was a little bit early for Tank Davis to be fighting Lomachenko back then. And I think that even back then, Tank Davis had a good chance at beating Lomachenko, but you never know. Like they didn't want to take the risk, and I'm not gonna like harp too much on them, but at that time when they fought each other, like I mean, like in their recent histories, they had been like kind of acting like they didn't want to like really take risk. So then they take a risk more so Leo Santa Cruz because of the size of Davis, and they charged us for it. The numbers did better than I anticipated, and I'm pretty sure they made a little bit of money off that fight. But was it pay-per-view worthy? My opinion, no. But it's already passed. Like, you know, but Mario Barrios definitely wasn't pay-per-view worthy. But I'm gonna go down my short list and you guys tell me. So the first option that I had for Tank Davis would have been a Gary Russell fight. Even though Gary Russell's at 130, I mean, it still makes for a riveting fight because they're both out of the DMV. It'd be dope, like, to have a card that's just with the brothers, because the whole like pairing of a brother and a Mexican guy, or a brother and a white cat, a brother and a Puerto Rican, that's not like the only way to make money with pay-per-views. There's a lot of the best fights right now that you could make. More likely than not, it's a brother against a brother. You know, so I just can't stand that they rely on such an old practice of like doing these international battles or cross color line battles. I mean, I'm glad when they do it. I mean, if it makes sense, but there's really good fights that could happen, like, you know, with just two brothers going at each other, that are way more marketable and way more pleasing, like, you know, to me, boxer, which don't have to have that like these outside factors to sell it, like color line or whatever, countries. But Gary Russell would be a good match in that vein. But you know, I don't think it's gonna get made. Fistiano, I like Tank versus Gary Russell Jr. Yeah, I mean, you know, that it is a feel good fight. It would be a guilty pleasure fight. And honestly, like, I mean, I don't want to scare you a little bit, but out of this list, it's probably like one of the top two fights of the list of guys that Tank Davis could fight within the roster at the PBC / Mayweather Promotions. And L Dub Boxing, thank you for coming through, my brother. You know, I appreciate you even checking on me, like, being that I know 0.5% of what you know in fucking boxing, man. Like, so just to have you come show love, you know, means the world to me. Look at that fucking view too, guys. Like, fucking gorgeous out here. But Tyrone Smith has come through. Thank you for coming through, Tyrone. And L Dub said Tank's fights has that big fight feeling, and they keep me on the edge of my seat. I'm paying. Now, I mean, like, you know, I'm not tripping. You know, I just want like better product because, you know, and this is me being candid. I think Tank Davis is the most talented boxer, bar none. If people don't see that, I mean, like, you know, then they're bugging. I mean, because Tank Davis, pound for pound, would be like up there, better than Bud Crawford, even, like, pound for pound. Like, Bud Crawford could never touch Tank's power, you know. But I want to see, but Tank Davis could be a fucking star. There's young cats that know of Tank Davis. Like, when I was going to college a few years ago, and Tank Davis wasn't humongous then, you know, this was like 3 years ago, you know, pre-lockdown. A lot of young cats knew who Tank Davis was. The only boxers that those cats knew of were Tank Davis and Adrian Broner. But I think if pay-per-view wants to stay in the race with apps, they need to lower the prices. Yeah, I've been making a big bone of contention about that. I mean, like, for a minute, pay-per-view's always been like way too expensive. Even when it was 50 rocks, like, you know, you're talking about 50 rocks when we were youngsters, like, fucking, I mean, I'm probably a little bit older than you guys, but, you know, pay-per-view was always like a jip to me. But now, I mean, like, you know, that I'm fucking cheap. And on top of that, there's so many other ways where I could watch these fights. I mean, temptation is strong for this one. and I'd rather buy, fucking have a pizza party for my family. But salute for showing love. That's a given, my friend. But and I'm gonna keep going down the list. Gary Russell Jr., as much as I'd like to see it, not a pay-per-view match in my eyes. But then you have Chris Colbert, probably the most intriguing name in this list based on what's happening now, where Chris Colbert is persona non grata over at PBC. I'm hoping that he doesn't get the Gary Russell Jr. treatment in years to come because of having a non-endorsed assessment of what he thinks is going to happen between Wilder and Fury when they fight for a third time. I do hope that Chris Colbert doesn't get that treatment, because he's a young cat, bro. If you wish him bad, that's more. A lot of these people that I see, sensationalizing that online, as far as applauding the fact that Chris Colbert might be screwed long term, they're corny. They're corny as fuck. These are the same kind of people that talk bad about you to their boss at work, or fucking if you were hiding from the cops, they'd be going like that, pointing your direction, while the cops are looking for you. Same shit. I don't mean to be too dramatic, but I hope that doesn't happen to Colbert, where long term he's fucked essentially, for just having an opinion. In spite of whether you think opinions have consequences. It's kind of being very general, glossing over things, because at the end of the day, I don't want to see any boxer get screwed, just cause. If a boxer's trying to screw me by overcharging me, yeah. I don't want to see him get screwed even in that sense most times. But Colbert's fucking young. And he's from the hood too. Brownsville, home of the brave, bro. Let the man be, man. He's come up tough, had an opinion. Who cares? But will that be a riveting fight? Yeah, I think so. The fact that he will have a lot of people that don't like him, and a lot of people love Tank. But is that a pay-per-view match? Absolutely not. And I'll before I let you cook Tyrone, and thank you for coming through. I'm just gonna go through the short list. I only have 4 more names actually. But then you have a Leo Santa Cruz rematch. I didn't want to see Leo Santa Cruz part 1. I didn't think that was a pay-per-view match, and I definitely don't want to see Leo Santa Cruz part 2. Although Leo Santa Cruz and Gary Russell are rumored to be fighting. Maybe L-Dub would have a little bit of foreknowledge on that. And to anybody who wants to hop on, I've also put the link out. Actually, what do you think, Tyrone? Any of the matches that I mentioned, are they pay-per-view worthy, or in your eyes?
I think Gary Russell has probably the biggest potential to be one.
Hold on, Tyrone. I can hear you now. I'm sorry.
I guess it depends on how you feel, or if you go by the current climate or whatever. Right, what's going on with this Tank pay-per-view stuff? What's the news, or what's going on?
No, there's no news. It was just my assessment, or reinforcing my assessment as far as the news.
Did the buys come out?
I'm hearing that rumor that 200,000 was the buy number.
What?
I don't think that's the truth. I think it's lower than that. If I had to guess, I don't trust nobody's numbers.
That's all.
200,000 is more than I anticipated, though. I ain't gonna front. But it's not a good number. It's still not a good number. I thought they made a mistake by even having this fight on pay-per-view. But let me keep going down the list.
Damn.
Another guy, you have Robert Easter.
No.
And that's definitely not a pay-per-view fight. It's a nice fight. I think Robert Easter could give.
I think Lomachenko and him.
Well, no. These are the fights, because they said that they're just gonna pick from the PBC roster, for Tank's next fight. you know,
No,
from
they should do that. They all they have to do is pay those guys. They can bring them from Top Rank. You just have to.
No,
give
this
them
was
their
this
stuff.
is their business plan. Like, you know, Mayweather said that they're gonna pick from in-house, like but I mean, and if they want to do that and like not charge pay-per-view, I'm with it. I mean, like, you know, you want to say Mario Barrios is a tough fight and he may need
I'm tired of him fighting Hispanic fighters.
yeah, but if you need a feel-good fight in between then and you want to
What's the
throw
feel good fight?
Gary Russell, like
Gary Russell is not a feel good fight.
no, that'd be a cool fight though. I mean, like,
dude.
but I mean, if it's for free, I wouldn't trip on it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wanted to see them fight. What the fuck was that?
They're not gonna fight. He's not gonna fight Gary Russell.
Yeah, I don't think so either. And like again, like there's rumors that Gary Russell and Leo Santa Cruz are finally gonna shake it up, and that's also not a pay-per-view fight. But
yeah, no.
But Robert Easter, I doubt they're not gonna match Tank Davis with Robert Easter ever. I think.
No.
As much, and that would make a good fight, but again, in its best circumstances, it still doesn't make a pay-per-view match. Not even close. Adrian Broner, I mean, like, would he make that jump? Would that fight be riveting? Like, and
they're not fighting.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna fight ever. No. Maybe they would try to like pile that on us, like, you know, in 2025 or some shit. You know, when Broner is fighting once a year. Broner's fighting once a year now. Fucking but that's more what we may get potentially down the line, like, and that's like more in the celebrity realm. If Broner and Tank Davis were to fight, I hope we don't get that. I mean, but if it happened right now, I guess that's the biggest potential pay-per-view match of all these fights, and it's not gonna happen right now. Then you got Regis Prograis. Nice fight, dope fight actually, but still not pay-per-view worthy. I think it's very hard to sell me anything above or below or at 140 and below, not below 140, 140 and below. Like, if you try to sell me any fight in that weight bracket, I mean, like, I'm already like sniffing like something's awry, you know, like fucking because I mean, like, you see people fight like that in the street, so like, you know, I'm not getting nothing for you to charge me for some small guys beating each other up, you know. And this is not me, it's historically boxing has been this way, like, where you usually pay for either overly blown up like welterweight fights with a lot of intrigue and lore, or heavyweight fights. It doesn't go below that though. I mean, like, it's usually like welterweight and above. Now, I mean, we're being charged for 130 fights that suck bad, you know.
I think if they were to make Tank versus Lomachenko, that's definitely a pay-per-view fight.
It is a pay-per-view fight, and they should make that fight. I just don't see, like, you know, when to me it's a big time bird call for again, in the aftermath of the Mayweather, of the Tank Davis fight with Barrios.
That's his hardest fight, I think.
Yeah, but like, to come out immediately after and say that you're gonna be picking from in-house, you know, that's just me. Like, I mean, it may not have it may not be just because of Lomachenko, but to me that just puts a signal out that.
But I think Top Rank has to. They do the same thing, dude. They fucking take in-house bums and put them on too. Top Rank also has to come across the table and make the effort. I really personally don't see Top Rank making an effort.
Yeah, yes, that would definitely be pay-per-view. I think
they never do it, dude. They never do it. We always have to be approached. They had to be approached for Wilder Fury 2 and this third one.
I mean, I'm pretty sure they were trying to weasel their way out of that. I mean, I'm not going to make any argument there.
The second fight they did, they weren't going for that. They had the PBC came to them. And by the way, they didn't want to sign it if it didn't have a rematch clause, and it backfired.
No, it's evident too. I mean, in the sense that Fury went and fought two whole other motherfuckers.
Yeah, bombs, dude.
But the thing is, at the end of the day, I mean, Top Rank's always been shady. One and two, they're not charging me for fights like this. You know, fucking like a Tank Davis level fight against you know, Gary Russell or Chris Colbert. And you know, honestly, everybody who I mentioned on that list, Gary Russell, Chris Colbert, Leo Santa Cruz, Robert Easter Jr., Adrian Broner, Regis Prograis, it seems like everybody's like committed to each other there. A lot of them, with the exception of Chris Colbert. You know, Gary Russell and Leo Santa Cruz may fight each other. Robert Easter Jr. is unaccounted for. Adrian Broner, Regis Prograis, there's rumors that they may fight.
No, that's a Garcia and Prog right now.
Yeah, so I mean, like, nothing there is even promising to happen next. So I mean, like, if they want to make a fight happen, especially one that's pay-per-view worthy, they gotta try to negotiate outside of the.
Yeah, I think they need to go over there and make something happen. But you've really got to hit these guys hard because Top Rank isn't making any money. I do think Top Rank is hard to deal with at times because I'm just when I look at the you could tell by the commentary team, dude.
Oh no, the commentary team blows like, I mean, it blows balls, but
no, but like, but it says it all in that they you know they run a tight ship over there. In that, you really can't have a difference of opinion over there, dude.
No, I mean, I think they're trying to sell like what they have.
It's
I mean, and it's obvious. But I mean, to me, that's like a little bit of a separate issue. I don't think that I mean, maybe it does, like the attitude that they have, like as far as staying on one accord and like, you know, don't like try to shit on our product. Does that carry over to negotiations? I mean, I think it carries over in negotiations of
I
any
think
businessman would say, like, you know, what I'm selling is
Golden
better.
Boy is easier to work with than ESPN.
I'm sorry?
Golden Boy is easier to work with than Top Prank.
Yeah, but remember, PBC is also like showing a little bit of a tendency of being difficult to work with, especially when they're like putting it out there that, you know, we only want to fight in-house for what could be our next biggest star, our biggest star. Because Tank Davis has way more potential than any welterweight on PBC, including Errol Spence. I think Tank Davis has way more selling potential than Errol Spence. When he gets to 147, I mean, like Tank Davis is going to be
going to 140. He's not. It's not going to be. He shouldn't go up to 147.
Not right now. Tank Davis is definitely going to be at 147.
And do what?
Tank Davis will get busy in 147, bro.
What versus?
No, like, I mean, like, who he's going to fight then?
Listen, I'm telling you now, dude. If 5'5", you can be a Superman. If you're only 5'5", it's going to get to you eventually. You're really hitting your,
I don't know, bro.
Hitting your ceiling there, dude. You can't just fucking. He's not beating up. You're hitting your ceiling.
I think his ceiling might be there, like 140, 147. I think it'll be. I mean, in spite of the fact that
140.
I'm sorry,
he should stay at 140. Even these guys who aren't all that at 147, he will feel a difference. Like you just, I mean, if you keep punching above your weight, you're gonna come crashing down eventually. He's got to be. I think they know that they're not gonna go to 147 immediately. They're gonna keep jumping back between 140 and 135. They'll go up to 147 when there's an opportunity, but not now.
I don't say that I don't think he's gonna go there now, but I think that he's gonna be campaigning there long term.
At 5'5", at 5'5".
Even that, man. Tank gets busy, bro. Like, my bad, bro. This man mosquitoes out. Tank gets busy, bro. Like I like I said, I think pound for pound, Tank Davis could be the best fighter in boxing. You know, I mean, he hasn't shown me against like great opposition, but I know what I'm seeing. Like, and what I'm seeing is a dude that fucking hasn't really punched somebody like full effort and like really hurts dudes like fucking every time he fights. every time he fights, there's a game plan that Tank has that I don't even agree with. But does Tank have the tools? Like, I mean, Tank Davis has the most tools in boxing, to me.
I think 140, 135, 130, 126. I think he can make 126 and fight at featherweight.
Oof, hells no, bro. Not now.
5'5". He's 5'5".
Yeah,
I know.
he's had issues.
I'm
though,
looking
right?
at it because I'm. Well, people would say I'm a taller person, but like if somebody were to tell me, "Oh, you could, get to like 154 pounds or 160 pounds," I could probably do it. If Jarrett Hurd can do it, I have a picture near Jarrett Hurd. I have to find it. I'm just like a little bit taller than Jarrett Hurd.
Yeah, but I mean, you're talking about a younger cat who came up broke like me. Like, what I'm gonna be candid. Like, and there's a little backstory. Like when I grew up fucking broke as shit, and when I first started making bread, like I was like simultaneously boxing at the same time. 150 should have not been hard for me to make, and I had a terrible time even making 150.
You're like 5'8", dude. I mean, there's no excuse.
No, but at that time, the people that were my age that were like, the shit in New York, Paulie, Collazo, like fucking Gabriel Bracero, and these dudes were like at 140, and I'm fucking over here like stuffing my face. Well, the point I was trying to make is that like I never had bread, like so all of a sudden I was hustling, and then I had money for a restaurant 3 times a day. I never ate at fucking restaurants like besides like Mickey D's, and that was like twice a year, and I would have to split a number 2 with my little brother. But when you come from like not having money to having money, it's very hard to reel that in. It's very hard to say, I'm gonna eat a salad after I go out drinking and shit, like when there's fucking wings or fucking.
Well, but I'm saying he can. All these things about people talking about, oh well, he's big bone and he's this and he's that and he's thick and all that. His last fight is 130. He can make 126 if he really wanted to. He can make featherweight.
He ain't gonna do that though, bro.
But
it's not gonna happen though.
At 140, I mean, it already looks fleshy at 140. He's not diced up. He wasn't diced up his last fight.
No, he wasn't.
So it's just I don't know. Some people get in their ears talking about, oh, you're big, you're this, you're that. When you're not, you're only like 5'5". I think people just need to. Your height matters, dude.
It definitely matters. It definitely matters. I mean, I'll tell you firsthand. I used to get ripped up like fucking when I would fight because I was having to fight fucking people that were way bigger than me naturally, or that actually gave a shit about like cutting weight, and I was being a dick, fucking drinking juice all the time, drinking beer, but also too, I mean, like Tank Davis is probably doing a lot of the shit, if not worse, than I was doing when I was getting money,
yeah, of course.
And I was a lot more mature than Tank Davis at 16, like than probably Tank Davis is in 2021, whatever age he is. But yeah, it's hard for him to campaign like even 140. I think is going to be difficult for him to campaign like when he gets to the age 28. You know what I'm saying? Like making bread, like people telling you you're the shit, having a rabid fan base online, like fucking having people tell you like you don't make a wrong move, dealing with Mayweather, like fucking all that shit. I could just see stressful eating from a person with a lot of money. I don't know. I already see that shit now. Like Tank's already having trouble like as far as being at the weight that he should be. In spite of all that though, I mean, like I think all his banging fights, and the thing is too, I'm saying this as far as not paying for the fights, because like you just mentioned, Lomachenko's a fucking banging fight. Teofimo Lopez, banging fight. Regis Prograis, not pay-per-view, banging fight.
I think Lomachenko versus Tank is a bigger fight than Lopez versus Tank.
Possibly, yeah, it could be.
And I say that because I really believe all my heart Lomachenko is a better fighter than Lopez.
I think so too. I mean, like, I think there's a good chance that Lomachenko beats Lopez
And
if
he
they fight
should
again.
do. I think that last fight he definitely underestimated him, and he was arrogant enough not to do a rematch clause. It looks like something I would do. Like,
But I wouldn't be surprised if Lopez beats Lomachenko again too. I mean, like,
no, I don't think he beats
Lomachenko has a lot of faults, and Lomachenko gets hit a lot. He could be slowed down. Like any fighter could be slowed down. But a lot of people just get like really tight when they fight Lomachenko, and Lopez didn't look tight at all.
There was nothing coming back for the first
Yeah.
couple of rounds.
And Lopez was
finally stepped on the gas. He had him like bamboozled.
yeah. Even at the end when he stepped in the gas, I thought it was something wrong with Lopez more than like Lomachenko turning it on, like fucking whatever have you. But Tank Davis versus Lopez is way bigger than Lomachenko versus Lopez any day. Tank Davis versus Josh Taylor is way bigger than Lomachenko versus whoever, or Lomachenko's versus Teofimo. It's just that a lot of these great fights are there for Tank, and like the fact that you're like telling me, not you, but team or the money team is throwing it up, like it ain't gonna happen. That's why I say like to boycott, or like not pay for these fights. The product gets better, then pay away. I mean, I'm not gonna do it no matter what, because I'm Team Stream. But I think a lot of people should join the effort and not paying for these matches until the product gets better. I'm trying to see if I could include the sun in that shot, bro, because it's fucking.
Where are you right now?
I'm in Pemmickwood, Maine. Fucking no, but there's like the sun's coming down like up here somewhere. Fucking it's real pretty. Fucking you can't see it on this camera though. But yeah, I mean, like, I'm not about fighters making bread, not one bit. But at the end of the day, a lot of these dudes, in boxing YouTube, in boxing fucking regular sport promotions, these dudes be treating motherfuckers like custies, bro. I'm not a custy one bit, bro. I'm not an entourage dude. I'm not a dude that's fucking gonna be appeasing you, or fucking not you, Tyrone, but appeasing you just because fucking you say something I can't contend it. Like, nah, like, and this is what boxing is becoming. But we could stop this shit here by fucking letting these people know, like, that our love for you is on a case-by-case basis. Like, you give me something today, and I got all the love for you in the world today. But if you play me, fucking it ain't gonna happen next time. Then you're gonna have to work your way up to buy my love. Better to be a actually I'm not gonna say that. That's a little bit too raunchy. But what do you think, Tyrone? I gotta break out soon too. Oh, actually, let me see if the Mets won. If the Mets won, I'm breaking out. Or if it's tied. What do you think, my man, Young Ty?
I guess it just depends on the fight. I mean, I was talking to my brother about this stuff yesterday. I used to be all about, oh man, we need the best fights, we need the best and everything like that, and we do, but boxing is like busting a nut. You climax once you see the fight, and after you do, it's over. Then you're just on to the next one, and it's this endless cycle that doesn't stop, and it's like, and that's why there's things like certain fights in the heavyweight division, or fights in the, some of these welterweight fights, or whatever. Like, people want to see Wilder White, or Martin versus White, or AJ versus Wilder. I don't care. I don't care anymore. It doesn't matter to me, because it doesn't make or break anything. I'm not gonna die if I don't see it. It's like, I don't even. I've gotten to a point where I just don't care.
No, I mean, but at the end, like, I don't like to take a defeatist attitude too. Like, I like to be proactive in my approach, in the sense that, like, maybe if I do this, just maybe, that these people are going to start. are gonna start giving me fights that I do want. You know what I'm
But
saying?
you do what?
Like a boycott, like or others join me like within the boycott. Because at the end of the day, like, you know, you're talking about like as far as your busting a nut analogy, I've been busting a nut, paying for pay-per-view boxing for many years. Yeah, I mean, there wasn't a match that I missed. I mean, I missed one in a long run, like 10 years of matches that I didn't pay for, and it was Mayweather against Berto that I didn't pay for. You know, I paid for every pay-per-view match of Mayweather, busting a nut every time. But I guess like now in this decade that we're living in, I've gone into a long tenured post busting a nut sensation because I busted a nut so many times in the past, paying $75 to watch these fights in HD, that now I've come to what happens after I bust a nut, which is clarity. Fucking and that clarity has bring me to the point that I'm in today. Boycott. Cause I ain't busting a nut anymore, like fucking unless it's worth it.
Yeah, just the thing is, I don't really have my time for a lot of these things. My like attention span, I have like the attention span of a hamster. So fucking, if I'm not immediately getting what I want at some day and doesn't happen, I just kind of move on to the next one. Certain fights, like even at 154, people say 154 is so hot. Like Lubin Rosario was a good match, but that's done and over with now. Like we can mix and match them, but it doesn't. I don't think it changes my world if it happens or not. Like, you know, a Lubin Jermell rematch. I mean, they can make them, but the time it takes to make some of these fights in other divisions, not so much 154, they lose interest, like a Spence Crawford fight. By the time that happens, I'll probably be in my mid-20s, maybe even late 20s. Actually, that'll be too late. It won't even happen at that point.
And that's the fear, Tyrone. Like, I mean, like, my fear is that I already know in my heart of hearts that a fight that I do want to see more than any other fight, which is Errol and Bud, isn't going to happen. Like, in my mind, I'm already resounded to the fact that or locked into like that fight's not going to happen. I'm not being a pessimist. I just know it's not going to happen. But I don't want, like, you know, I rather that we take a lesson from that. Us like hardcore boxing fans, especially on YouTube, like, you know, YouTube has the is hardcore boxing fans concentrated.
Supposedly.
Yeah. But if we take the attitude of rather than like, you know, saying like, well, that fight didn't happen because this guy, because I like him more, so like your guy had to do with it, or like if you're in the opposite end of the spectrum and like the other fighter, then you blame the guy across the, like, that should have been across the ring. That's what's happening on like boxing fandom, is where everything's becoming like hyper fractionalized, but it's not leading to like the fights happening. In fact, it's not happening in part because a lot of fans are just gonna ride with somebody no matter what. Not either you guys that are on the panel now. But these fights are not happening now because at the end of the day, like, you know, you like, you do have a lot of people online that are just gonna eat shit, like whatever these guys put out, and still buy it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and again, it's none of you guys, but it's what's gonna happen. You know, could if you guys had to think, like, or guess, could you see a lot of the stuff that's happening within the like discussions of well, Bud doesn't deserve an Errol fight or whatever's happening? Like, you know, could you see that stuff happening with Tank Davis, even if he fights people from my short list or lesser names than the ones that are on my short list of Gary Russell Jr., Chris Colbert, Leo Santa Cruz, Robert Easter Jr., Adrian Broner, or Regis Prograis? You know, he may fight lesser opponents than that from within that PBC pool, still charging pay-per-view. But do you still think that there's going to be people online that are going to be coming to his defense in spite of the fact that he's not going to have a good resume if he fights from that pool, or people online that are going to be insulting of you if you have a point that is not agreeable with Tank Davis? I mean, there's gonna be no matter what, very small numbers of that. But right now, there's full like online like groups or communities, whatever the fuck, that will pretty much like try to kill your ass. Like fucking if you say something disagreeable about per se, for the sake of this argument, Errol Spence. Like I think they're gonna be doing the same shit, probably the same groups of people for Tank Davis, in spite of the fact that he's gonna be giving us not so great fights down the line. And with us now, we also have Michael Johnson Boxing Talking More. You can find Michael Johnson Boxing Talking More at his channel, where he's been uploading great content of late from a very cool point of view too, my friend. I may say, I like the whole you leaning over, doing videos things. It looks cool, my friend. It shows a different side of your face, my friend, which I could appreciate. You're a good looking guy.
Oh, thank you. Likewise, man. What's up? What the hell's going on, man? As soon as I come up in here, all I hear is busting nuts.
Yeah, I said boxing is like busting a nut. Like you get up to the fight.
That's all I kept hearing. Bust nuts. Like, god damn, boy. I thought y'all had some hoes up in here.
Right,
nah, my friends, we're both monogamous men. I have my wife, and is someday committed to my niece. So we're a life of monogamy.
Well, you better ask, because my mom is about to. Well, my mom is trying to put something together now. Actually, she's working behind the scenes.
That's that. Ugh, I hate that. Yeah, you can have that stuff. But yeah, you know, I told you guys, like, you know, a long time ago, I was saying, you know, you pay for what you want to watch. You know what I'm saying? And if you know you think that boxing ain't treating you right, you turn off the fucking TV. You stream that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? You stream it, because, you know, these promoters, they're in control, you know, and they're okay with doing 250, 300K pay-per-view buys. And that shows you that everybody is eating and everybody's making money at those low numbers, contrary to belief. But really, to tell you the truth, like I've been saying it, but what was it? 2 years ago, we were talking about Tank Davis and how he needs to step up and stuff like that. So Tank Davis' career right now is in a state that a lot of people have made it. You know, they fought a decent guy, and they can't afford to go down and fight a lesser opponent. They have to fight a better opponent now, because you want this guy to be a pay-per-view star. You want people to show up to the arena and all this stuff. So you're gonna have to do. He's gonna have to do things in the ring, and show that, you know, the boxing world, that him and his promotional brand that surround him, they're not going to conduct themselves like, you know, Earl and Crawford. I mean, I don't care who says what, but if that's the fight that you want to see, a split shouldn't matter. Why it doesn't happen shouldn't matter. Because at the end of the day, it just didn't happen. You know, there's two sides of the street. One side could have bended a little bit more than the other, or whatever the case may be. But, you know, it takes two to negotiate in the negotiating table. But that's just the way it is. You know, the promoters is telling all these fans what to watch. Even the sucky fights on UFC, the mismatches, they do the same thing. They tell you what to watch, and people show up and consume it. So, you know, I don't see how people can't just see that, you know, these boxers, they see the money, and so they just listen to people. You know what I'm saying? Then you have some fighters who just go around fighting who the hell they want to fight. And you see the guys who always have their promoters speaking for them.
Thank you,
Every time they have their promoter speaking for them, you already know they soft shoeing, they about to sugarcoat some shit. Like Tank Davis. I'm gonna let my you know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. Like seriously. Like, you can't say who you want to fight. Like, you can't say like 100% this is what the fight you want next. Period. Without Big Nose or that little bitty man Floyd Mayweather coming up speaking for you. You know, is like, you know, and you can't even tell what does a promoter do now these days? You can't even tell me like what they really have been doing to promote fights. You can't tell me. What have they been doing? Floyd, the only thing he goes around is talking about how much money he got. Leonard Ellerby just goes around and saying Tank Davis, Tank Davis. We don't know what Shelly Fink will do. You know what I'm saying? We don't know what these we don't know what none of these promoters do. Salito, Bob, damn for sure don't know what Bob do besides wear Pampers and shit on himself. So I don't know. It's like I know people are on the Tank bandwagon, man, but you know, I'm only going to pay for pay-per-views that I want to see. You know, if it ain't a fight that I want to see, I'm not paying for it. Like you got all these guys laying around here, T.O., Haney, all these guys that you could fight, but they're soft shoeing around that. And Tank is supposedly already back in the gym the Monday after the fight. So, hey man, I know you on vacation or whatever, but when you go on these live streams, now come on, man, you give 100% undivided attention to me and your boy up over here, Tyrone. Fuck, I don't know what you think you're doing.
Nah, I'm switching locations because my wife wants to watch the sunset, and I'm about to go inside.
Oh, you just got punked.
Always.
Shoot, Tyrone said he paid for that Tank Davis pay-per-view.
No, I did not. No.
I'm messing with you.
Watcher said that my avatar is disgraceful. Do you see my avatar?
Yeah, what's going on in that?
That was that Tony Yoka fight where the guy just said, "I'm done." He just put his hand out and shook his head.
Yeah, I mean, that's unfortunate with boxing, man. Is like, you know, these guys.
Well, that's what I don't mean to cut you off, but that's what the referee said about Barrios. The Thomas Taylor, he did an interview with ES News. He said that when he grabbed him and stopped the fight, Barrios said, "I'm done."
I thought he had said something too. Like he shook his head and shit.
Yeah,
turned his back.
That's what he said to him. Apparently, that's what the referee said. Barrios said. He said, "I'm done."
And then he had like absolutely nothing to say about the stoppage.
Nah, he didn't. No.
You know, that was some nice licks though he took though. Tell you that much.
Yeah, they're pretty good. I mean, it was yeah, Watcher. He said that. Go to ES News, put ES News and Thomas Taylor, and he does an interview about it, about just refereeing the fight, and you'll find it there. That Barrios said that. He said, "I'm done." But I think the fight was I heard Evander Holyfield said it was the best fight he's seen in his life. I know he's just trying to help Tank and, you know, boost up the reception of the fight. And I know other people said it was one of the best fights they see. I don't agree with that. I don't think it really picked up till after the eighth round. It was really more, I wouldn't say one-sided, but Tank was dominant after the knockdowns. I mean, if I were to tell anybody to watch the fight, just watch it from round 7 or 8 on to the end, right? You would just cut out the beginning. You don't, you know, I don't. I'm trying to see where this all-time great fight was. If you guys can help me out, I don't see it.
It was in the next one. You got to pay $50.
Yeah, no, right. Yeah, that's what they're gonna tell you.
No, but like going back to the point that I was making, that I want to lead up to, you know, I could like I don't want boxing.
I thought it was a good fight, a solid fight, but like, you know,
yeah,
I like the drama at the end, but that, you know, it wasn't dominant back and forth. I mean, it was like a ish ha ha versus a doom sort of a thing.
Yeah. Oh, and Watcher came through. He said Shelly says nothing as far as being a promoter. Right. Laughing out loud. He said turning the back as far as the fight you were just talking about. And what he said that fucking quitter.
Yeah.
Yeah, going back to what I was saying though. I mean, like, you know, I don't like to take a defeatist attitude with any of this stuff because I care about boxing. And don't get it twisted. I'm not coming here looking for a reason to bitch. I can make content about shit that has zero to do with boxing, because at the end of the day, in real life, I barely talk about boxing with anybody. With my man Oliver, like who like now is coming onto the channel here and there. I mean, he's probably the only person that in real life that I talk to about boxing. My homeboy that might know boxing best after my man Oliver. He thinks that Triple G is nasty and all this shit. You know, he's more fair weather, casual fan. You know what I'm saying? Like he gets his shit from ESPN. But you know, I want to make this a fight. Like I don't want to give up. Like as far as the fact that boxing is just gonna be this way in the future, and I just got to eat it. At the end of the day, I'm not gonna pay for it very likely, regardless of what they put on. But I mean, I still want to see great fights, even though I'm not gonna pay for them. But I still want to see great fights because I want boxing to win. But one thing that I can predict coming down the pipe is like what I said earlier. It's gonna be the factionalized, like fucking fan groups in the YouTube streets, like these fucking idiots say, or I know why he's saying this because he's that kind of person, and I already knew like that those he don't like Tank, or it's getting to the point where it's just one group of people that straight dick ride and criticize one faction, and then one group of people that hate that faction and dick ride the opposite, and over exemplify like the good things the opposite faction does.
But L, there's like it's not factions, and stuff like that. These are just individuals, because not everybody who's a Deontay Wilder diehard fan or dick rider or whatever anybody want to categorize them is going to act the same way. You know what I'm saying? As everybody else, it's individuals that are going out there doing that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm part of a group. Now I know some people a part of the group that I'm in will act differently than how I would act, and so you really can't categorize it all as the same. You see what I'm saying? So it's the individuals, because that's the problem. That's what part of the problem as well. Is like people don't want to hold individuals accountable. They just want to hold sides. Oh, if you're Anthony Joshua fan, we're gonna put this all on you, put it up. UK, US, Mexico, blah blah blah, whoop whoop whoop, and that creates a whole fucking storm. If people
see, and the dangerous thing about like a lot of what you're saying too, Mike, and like a lot of what I'm saying is that like before, a lot of the stupid shit was relegated to casual fans, like that were online, like fans that came like and saw a couple highlights and then gave a little bit of input like through comments. That shit was for them, like the whole like fucking so getting emotionally tied into these boxers, like where you can't like mention anything bad about them. I mean, it has always happened, I ain't gonna front, but like now what I'm seeing is a lot of people like just on the content creator side per se do know boxing. These motherfuckers know boxing more than I do. Like there's channels that I hate that know more boxing than I do. Not I am Ill Will, but there's channels that I don't like one iota that know a lot more boxing than me. There's channels that like know less boxing than me, not very many, but that could give better assessments than I do. Everybody got their qualities, but what I'm seeing now is like people that actually know better, people that have actually been through, a decade ago, when boxing online was like mad racist, or when boxing online was just full of stupidity. Like they're coming from seeing all that and like all the stupidity and all the fact that a lot of those arguments were based off Mayweather and Pacquiao before they fought. And it's not like we got a fight faster. Like it's not like we got that fight any faster because of boxing fanboyism or extreme boxing fanboyism. But we're going into an era of even more boxing fanboyism, with fighters that have even less clout and even less resumes than Mayweather or Pacquiao had dared to dream of, like in the early 2000s. um, we're still getting the remnants of, that whole like bad aspect of boxing fanboyism reinforced for years to come. It's going to get worse than it gets better if we let these things happen. Where we could exert our pressure, it's a tired phrase, but I mean, you could make pressure with where you spend your money or don't spend your money. When a lot of people jump up and make the point that they're loyal customers, like regardless of what a promotion puts out or regardless of who a boxer fights, I mean, there's a danger in that, because at the end of the day, that promoter is going to see like, well, this money's locked in no matter what. Like, this guy's coming our way. Now we're going to try to market this to people that wouldn't necessarily throw dollars our way. And that's why we get these stupid Mexican versus whoever fight. Like, bro, like, they ain't like no Mexican dominating like that. Like, fucking, like, besides Canelo, he don't want to fight nobody. So what's the point in trying to do these cross-pollinating promotions in the hopes of getting like God knows who, like, that you're not getting automatically, rather than like just saying, all right, like the easiest way to sell these fights is by making good fights. Like, not telling me like I'm missing out because I'm not paying for these fights.
What with the cross promotion stuff?
Say again?
With cross promotion stuff?
I mean, the cross promoting would make it a lot easier. I mean, like in Tank's case alone, can't be debated that a lot of the best fights are there. And it's not even that a lot of the best fights are there. Like, a lot of fights that are actually worth the shit. Like, imagine what's going to happen with Tank Davis's career, who's already a star, if he were to detach Lomachenko's head off of his shoulders. You know what I'm saying? Like, how big would that be? I don't care if he did that shit on ESPN. All the while, like, the ESPN broadcast team is torching Tank.
Them.
Tank.
But I'm gonna tell you this one thing. Tank being Devin Haney, like, he needs the man that beat the man, and I would say he needs to just forget about that fight, and just fight T.O.
Yeah, like, don't think anything less of me, my friend.
Lomachenko Lopez next, and I think Lomachenko wins that. So I think that sets up for Tank and Lomachenko if they can get that over the line. But we just have to hope that Bob Arum dies and Todd DeBuff get into a car accident so that hopefully something can happen.
I mean, honestly though, Ty, like with the I don't think that they're opposing, like, pairing up Tank with whoever from the Top Rank stable, because Top Rank knows that's a big money fight, and that Top Rank in-house probably doesn't have a pay-per-view worthy fight. Like,
they have to send Lomachenko over there.
Either or. I mean, like, I know that they, like, to me, like, the
Tank
vibes I'm getting right now,
Tank
as it relates to Tank Davis,
they're not going to do the same mistake they did with Wilder and have them do a cross promotion when it's really a Top Rank promotion, and have ESPN do the whole thing, because PBC was lazy. PBC should have said, no, we're not doing this. We're not going to have Top Rank commentate this fight. We're throwing all those bums out. We're fucking getting our detailing. We're getting our commentators. We're getting our fights in there, and we're going to make it reasonable for boxing fans. We're not going to sit here and get it on ESPN where it's one-sided. They were lazy. They're not going to do that again.
Tyrone, you can't say that they were lazy about it. And
they were lazy.
No, Tyrone, you can't, because this is what I keep trying to tell people is, like, you got to kind of like look at it from both sides of the spectrum. When you're doing a big event like this, it's like both sides are agreeing on doing certain things and being in charge of doing certain things. See what I'm saying? So if Top Rank, that's what they want to do, Top Rank probably gave PBC something.
But why is Joe Tessitore on my screen?
But
why is he there?
That's the thing. But that's the thing, Tyrone. They keep employing the guy for many fights. You see what I'm saying?
Get that mug out of here, man.
They don't care. I don't think they care what the fans.
No, they don't. Obviously, they don't.
You know what I'm saying? And so they said, I got a guy. They like this guy. They like the way he talks. See what I'm saying? And that's the reason why when you watch other things like Triller, that's the reason why they allow that stuff to go on, because they heard what they know to listen to the fans. They know to go out on social media and stuff like that and to see what people are talking about, not what's trending, about what real fans are talking about. Because trending doesn't mean real boxing fans are those are the real boxing fans that's going to show up. The casuals is the byproduct of the noise that we made.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, like Mike, I do agree with Tyrone is saying in some senses, because
Because
you don't want to give an inch.
Another part of the reason why this third fight didn't happen earlier is not the fact that they just didn't want it, but also PBC gave them all the what's it called? It was up to Top Rank to set up the fight and find the venue and put together the broadcasting team again.
Yeah. And guess why? That's because that was in the contract.
Why did they negotiate it like that? Why would you send your guy behind enemy lines by himself with no backup?
If you lose a fight, going into the trilogy, right? Wouldn't it make sense for the contract for the other guy to get the bigger piece of the pie and get all the rights and everything like that you had?
They had the same rights. Did the same rights in the second fight.
Tyrone, I'm trying to tell you something. The reason why they was in charge of that was because Deontay Wilder was in charge of it team twice.
Once. That was Showtime, not the second fight.
You can say whatever the case may be. But it's a fact.
Well, like, I mean, I do agree with what a little bit of what Tyrone is saying, because I made videos about a lot of similar subject in the sense that, like, where PBC is so putting their nuts out on the table in some instances, i.e., like who Tank Davis's future opponents are going to be. Like, well, he's only going to fight from PBC stable, and that's it. But then they kind of go into like a Wilder thing where seemingly a lot of concessions that they probably should have negotiated prior to or really fought tooth and nail for Wilder, they kind of like don't. I don't know. Like
because I'm looking at the small things, and L will agree with me on this. Dude, L, if you were to see Wilder Fury 2, what network did you think it was on?
At that stage, when it was part 2, it should have been on Showtime or Fox.
No, not what it should have been. If you were just a casual fan walking past, what network would you think that fight is on?
Fox pay-per-view.
Really?
Leading up to it, I thought it would have been.
No. I'm saying as you're watching the fight, what network did you think it was on?
Oh, it seemed like an ESPN affair.
It seemed like an ESPN affair, and that's my point. Is this? I feel that they just said, "All right, we'll take some money. You guys handle that and do whatever you want." There's more to it than just putting any old commentator. These guys, Ward, Bradley, and Tessitore, are one of the prime the prime suspects in one of the first people to spin a narrative about Wilder coming into the third fight. If they did a normal pay-per-view and actually took responsibility and accountability and started putting their own guys in there to help out, it would balance out. But the scales were already skewed, and then he lost, and now it looks like he's shit and everything like that. And there's this whole snowball effect because of laziness. That's what I think.
No, it's not even laziness. Like it's, believe it or not, bro. Like, I mean, like, I think if per se, if we were operating, me, you, Mike, with 10% of the overhead that PBC or Top Rank operates with, and we were in a similar scenario, that we would be able to get just as many concessions, if not more, from PBC, because PBC, like, may seem like they have control of a lot of things, but they don't. I mean, like, either that or it's just really pissy planning. I
don't know what you guys are seeing, but I'm really trying to tell you that's how these fights are. That's exactly how these fights are. Yeah, the PBC can put on their own thing, Top Rank can put on their own thing, but if we're not looking at these contracts, we can only go by the certain things that we see. And we know for a fact that Tyson Fury skipped over and signed a deal with ESPN. And Wilder, I believe his contract with Showtime was up. So
is it, Mike, in this case though, like from fight 2 on, you haven't seen any concession?
Because I don't care about the commentary. I really don't. I don't care about the commentary. I don't care about all those bells and whistles. I mean, I know some people be like, "Oh yeah, you're a PBC dick grinder and all that stuff," but I'm really looking at both sides of the spectrum. I'm literally looking at both sides as far as I am. Like, this is the way I think, and this is the way I look at it this way. It's not lazy.
Well, like,
that was what Top Rank was in charge of.
But in any case, too, I mean,
what I'm trying to say is, if you're hosting a big fight like this, you can't fucking doing everything and having all that overhead cost over you, or you can split the overhead costs. Would you rather? That's essentially what happened. They signed a contract, and Top Rank was in charge of getting the venue, right? See, at that point, whether or not Top Rank was involved, was in charge of getting the venue, or PBC was in charge of getting the venue, no matter who was going to be in charge of getting that venue, if the time frame would have waited that long, because both sides were agreeing on certain things and stuff like that, Tyson Fury still would have done the same thing. You can't stop a man. You can't stop a man from not want. You can't stop a man from running from a fight against you. What you do is you do the steps that Deontay Wilder did, and you have your ducks all in the row. You have all your ducks in the row, right? As far as your boxing contract and all that stuff, you have your ducks in the row. So if you do have to go to mediation, you do have to go to arbitration, you can litigate your gripe with these guys and have a strong case and have an outcome that Deontay Wilder had. But then laziness, if Deontay Wilder was to lose the mediation and to lose the arbitration.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about
that's a separate issue, Mike.
That's a separate issue. I'm talking about how they were for negotiating the second fight. The second fight looked as if all the responsibility on putting it together, putting the show together, they just gave that to ESPN. Basically, they said, "You guys handle that." They did.
No, and Tyrone, and they did actually to both of you guys. At the end of the day, like, I mean, like, if you want to say like that, who holds the reins as far as commentary goes isn't a big deal. Maybe I would agree with you. But peep game though.
As a fan, no.
After the first fight, the public perception was that that Wilder got away with being given a draw. So I mean, like, you know, and that happened because of Mayweather like being a cock and fucking saying that he had Wilder losing. The fact that Wilder didn't really look good in that first fight too.
No, he didn't look good at all.
And
Malik, whatever that mug's name is, dude. Whatever that guy is, that he doesn't work with Showtime anymore. But that guy was making a big deal about it as well.
Yeah, but then to turn around in fight 2 and give Team Fury all of the reins as far as like the broadcast, in spite of the fact that Fury already walked out of a fight from you and fought 2 other people. You know, I thought that like it was a shoo-in that PBC would go into that second negotiation with the upper hand times 100. You know, to give them any concession was a travesty. Like, I mean, like, I'm not like saying that because I don't agree with the PBC. Like, I mean, like, you know, I'm just saying it more from the perspective that
what fight are we talking about?
Well, from fight 1 to fight 2, like, so fight 1, the broadcast really didn't do Wilder any favors in that sense, and the public perception was against Wilder.
So,
you know,
I mean,
to then put
against Wilder before that fight. I mean, it's not
no. Based on the results of the fight, based on like what happened in the ring.
Yeah, but based off the results of the fight, we're still going to have that. We're still
no. But in fight 2, leading up to all this stuff, like to then like, you know, for the automatic assumption was that they were going to fight again next. Fury walks away from that. so then and fights two non-entities while Wilder is still fighting on pay-per-view and having a title defense. Fury's kind of like just chilling. So leading into the second fight, why then would PBC give the ability to Top Rank to be the main principal broadcasters of this fight and to have the commentary run by Top Rank is beyond me. I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, I think that PBC, when they do a couple of good things, which is very rare, things that make it seem like they're really going into a lot of these negotiations and bossing up. A lot of times that shit happens by luck, bro. Because a lot of the if Tyrone were running PBC or Mike were running the PBC, I don't see you guys caving in so easily.
Oh no. Look, came there, I'd shoot them.
But that's what I'm saying.
Wouldn't even be able to commentate the spit bucket. They wouldn't even be in the building. We're getting guys who are decent, and I don't mind coming across the table and finding just brand new guys, somebody maybe from another platform or whatever. But the guys have to be down the middle. They have to be fair. They have to call it how it is. Lennox Lewis is a former heavyweight champion, and he's getting out screamed and out yelled by fucking this bitch Joe Tessitore. You could barely hear Lennox Lewis.
And peep game though. Besides Lennox Lewis, and I won't even you could even exclude Lennox Lewis out of it. It's not like if you took everybody who is commentating on boxing today, if you told them, listen, you ain't working no more. Every promotion, every fucking single channel, every single app, if you told every one of their commentators, you're getting your walking papers today, nobody would miss a fucking beat if you replace them with regular competent people, and not competent people as in people that are dick riding Wilder or just people that call it straight down the middle.
That's all.
Nobody's gonna miss a Joe Tessitore. Nobody's gonna miss a Bradley or a fucking Mauro Ranallo, whatever the fuck his name is.
But that's what I keep trying to tell you guys.
But peep game, Mike. But one thing you're not mentioning though is that but look, peep it. One thing that's happening though is that with these just on the commentary section, as far as with the people that are doing the commentary on the fight, it's always the PBC or it's always Wilder in this case when it's a cross promotion losing in that section. And second fight was a definitive loss, and I'm pretty sure the third fight is going to be worst. I mean, let me get to real commentary. I know you wanted to make a point, Mike, and I'm sorry I stepped on you there, but Tessitore is the best commentator on TV. You're tripping. I agree with that wholeheartedly. Imagine if Ward, Bradley, and Tessitore comment the third fight.
Going to happen.
That's gonna happen, bro. I'm telling you. They're probably gonna bring in fucking what the hell is his name? The ex-trainer, the firefighter.
Teddy Atlas. All the guys who
and Teddy Atlas is gonna do Wilder favors. Yeah, okay.
If Wilder were to give each of them $1 million, they still wouldn't be able to say a good word. All those guys would be the ones commentating the fight.
And bro, if you had to guess how much they're paying that whole desk,
nothing.
Yeah, it's probably $100K total. And I'm giving them a lot. Yeah. They're probably getting to take home a little bit from the catering cart and $500 a piece and a free subscription to ESPN Plus. But Watcher wrote, Mike, I thought Counterpunch said it was just about money. Sean, he also said Sean Pater is a bad commentator, true snake. I'm not nuts about Sean Porter, but I know a lot of people that are fucking steady dick riding what's happening with the PBC commentary, and the PBC commentary is only good because the ESPN commentary is so fucking
bad.
Dog shit flakes.
It's so bad. I think
PBC commentary sucks too. Not as bad as
Brazil is a great commentator. He hasn't commentated in a while. I think he's a great commentator. I think only issue is I don't want him commentating a Wilder fight. Obviously, there's conflict of interest there. But for everything else, he's fine. I think he's better than Joe Goose, and I think he's better than Lennox Lewis as well. They need to get guys like this. Sean Porter, No, I don't want to get him in there. And this is where it's good to be an uppity Negro. Brazil is uppity. He can speak the language. He speaks very well. I want more guys like that. I don't want Jamal Charlo commentating my fight. I don't want Sean Porter commentating my fight.
Me neither.
I would rather have Brazil commentate my fight.
I mean, but you guys have to like I said like earlier, it's like the good old boy club. It's like they're not trying to let nobody else in. They're not trying to bring nobody new.
Who is it though?
Who is what?
Like who isn't like letting people in? Like the
I don't
people that
know.
are already behind the desk.
Who's in charge? Who's in charge of hiring these guys? The same people that's in charge of bringing in press and all that stuff is the same people that's in charge of this.
Maybe.
I believe. You know what I'm saying? Because
but they're replaceable. They're easily replaceable.
Yeah,
like,
they're replaceable, but it's like the good old boy club, and they keep hiring the same people over and over again and just rotating them around. It's like that's the reason why I don't care about the commentators. Like they can say whatever they want to about Deontay Wilder or any other fighter that's out there, but it's up to you as a fan to make up your own opinion.
No, I know. Like, at the end of the day, it is up to us.
Like
you know,
hold up. Because even if you're talking about a casual, it's still up to them. Even if you're talking about a fly-by-night person, you think a lot of people aren't fucking that stupid. They just sit up over here and listen to these guys and just believe everything they say because they're up
people
on the
are
panel.
that stupid though.
They're things right, and the fans are listening to them. You think the fans ain't sitting up over there like, wow, that's kind of odd, blah 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 with the whoop. You say the fight was a draw, but then you hear about these other fighters saying it wasn't. And so it's not just that they're cut and dry. It's like to me, it's like I don't think anybody. The last thing we should be caring about is like who's commentating the fight.
Yeah, I think it does matter though, Mike, in the sense that a lot of people aren't locked into a fight 100%. Even me. I mean, I'm pretty locked in, and I dick around on my phone or. So I mean, like the whole watching fights on mute thing. I usually do that in the aftermath of a fight, like or after the fight is done. I'll watch a fight on mute, but I'll never watch a fight on mute live unless it's like a whack fight and it's Trey X, like or like a fight that's not like Primo and it's like Trey X calling the fight. Like I'll do that, like fucking But besides that, like I like the commentary, whether you like it or not. Like whether it's a subliminal effect, like it does like factor in, especially to casuals. I mean, and if I'm not locked in, or if we're not locked in, who are more on the hardcore side, imagine a casual watching a fight with Tim Bradley having fucking Fury's nuts like where his tonsils are, fucking talking good and like saying nothing good about Wilder. Who's the casual gonna believe? I know it is. It's up to us, the fight fans in general, like to practice dissemination, but it's really hard to do that. And I mean, like when you have a lot of people that go into these matches, like per se, like that don't like Wilder for an outside reason. A lot of people that don't like Wilder are for outside reasons, like for the fact that he's a American black cat. The commentary doesn't work to sway people like that. It'll work to, cement like that person's feeling. Like if Counterpuncher watching a fucking a Wilder fight, you don't think that he'd use every single like thing that fucking Tim Bradley says, like as one of his points the following day when he's making a video about Wilder. It is what it is, and I'm just saying that it looks worse like within either it's coming from PBC or when it's allowed by PBC.
Yeah, the best thing. Go ahead, Mike.
No, but that's what I'm saying is like I don't. How can I say this? Because I keep trying to tell y'all, like, because I really don't care about the commentary. I don't care about the fights that I want to see. I don't care about who's putting them on. No, none of that. None of that. The fights that I want to see, and that's it. But it just sounds real far fetched. Like when I hear somebody saying like PBC this and PBC that, and then now all of a sudden we talking about PBC with not being involved into the commentating part of it or the the broadcasting issue of the part of it, but it's like we don't even know. You know what I'm saying? What their roles was or anything in this matter. Maybe PBC agreed on having those guys in because they might not really care too much about how it sounds, as long as they sell the fight, whether or not Deontay Wilder's the underdog or not, because he's been the underdog for a lot of his fights. You know what I'm saying? And even before Deontay Wilder even got a name and recognition for himself, he was even treated like this all the way to the time that he lost his fight. You know,
yeah, but if you have control of it, you know, you try to circumvent it.
If you have control of it, then you're looking like everybody else. Then you looking like everybody else. You gotta have people. You gotta have people, not just blowing your gassing you up, because then you're gonna end up like Lomachenko.
I don't think they do it for that reason, though, Mike. Like,
Well, it's not the fact why they did it. It was done. It's not the fact why they did it. It was done, and they do it with certain fighters. You see what I'm saying? They choose to do it with certain fighters, maybe because those fighters, they need that type of help to get them to the level of another fighter, because without that, they wouldn't be shit. Maybe they needed that push from the commentators. Maybe they need that push from all these ESPNs and stuff like that, because without that, they wouldn't have been shit.
Give an example.
I just gave an example. If Lomachenko wasn't getting that same shine from all these other guys, he wouldn't be big as he is right now.
No, but that's their own product, though. ESPN is big time about selling their own fighters.
But ESPN, ESPN don't really do that with a lot of their fighters.
What?
They don't.
Yeah, they do, Mike.
Who? When was the last fighter that ESPN tried to take an L from?
What do you mean? No, I'm saying that ESPN goes above and beyond as far as trying to sell you on their product.
No, they really fucking don't. If they went above and beyond, they'll give boxing 5 minutes out of a day.
No, more than the PBC does. Do they do more than the PBC?
I mean, it's on Fox, but it's about the same. Right there on the little ticker, and that's all you get. You get a little bit of talking, and that's it. They're in and out, and they're only talking about the big fights.
I mean, you got to check in with fucking Bradley then, bro, because Bradley has been pretty much allowing like fucking Lomachenko to plow his wife if he had the opportunity. Like, yeah, Bradley's been on a PR fucking session for Fury, for Lomachenko, Teofimo in a small sense, Monster Inoue, you know, all these ESPN guys. I mean, like, and it's not just Bradley. I mean, it's everybody at the ESPN desk. They do a really.
Only time I saw them one time go against the. Well, they don't even do that because all their fighters are home fighters, literally. Pretty much all the fighters that they have on their home fighters. But they did something about Jamel Herring. They said that he looked like he wanted to quit. That's the only time I saw them being a little bit honest.
They don't got nothing long term with
exactly. They don't do it with guys they have long term. They didn't do it with Joe Smith Alvarez. They all thought that Alvarez was gonna box him up. The moment Joe Smith came over and knocked him out, they were already switching what they were thinking about midway through the fight. You know,
I mean, like, you know, and they steady shitting on the brothers that they do have on top.
Steady. Well, yeah, they do that too. But my whole thing is this: if I'm on a promotional company, I have my guy, and he's about to do a co-promotion with some other, you know, bum or whatever he's doing, right? And he's going in there, and I find out that the commentary team is majority going to be 3 guys who have a bad reputation of upping their home fighters and downing everybody who comes out. Who's particularly this fighter. I'm not letting that happen.
We'll go talk to Kelly Swanson.
Exactly. I'm not letting that happen. I'm going to try to make sure it's fair. Because the thing is, there's a fallout from this. I said I'm not the promotional company. I said if I was the promotional company, I wouldn't let that happen.
Wouldn't that be the person if you had legitimate like you as a fan and you tired of hearing this stuff? You know what I'm saying? Wouldn't that, like, somebody on Twitter or whatever, you'd be like, hey, you know something, what's up with your biased commentary towards your fighters?
But Kelly Swanson's not the one that's propagating the biased commentary fight.
No,
Like,
but Kelly Swanson is probably part of the.
she's
hiring
allowing it.
process.
She's allowing it though, but she's allowing it by. Oh, she's
No,
not
I don't know.
allowing it.
I don't know if it's her. I
Yeah,
said
allowing
No,
it.
no, she's not allowing it. So I mean, it wouldn't even be a complaint that we could direct at her, Mike.
no.
Like-
No. I said I don't know if she is, but she.
No,
may
but
be
she has
part of the
nothing to do with it.
hiring.
With
I don't know.
with
Go
what-
look her up. Go look her. Go look
no,
her
but
up
with
then.
I know exactly who she is. He's a twat. But with
Yeah.
what
Okay.
Tyrone is
Okay.
this.
So she does hire people for PBC, right? Events, right?
Well, that's on the PBC side though. But a lot of what Tyrone was just mentioning was coming from the ESPN side.
It
And
doesn't,
it was-
it doesn't matter if PBC is putting on something, they have the right to tell which people are going to be talking or not.
So why didn't they exercise that? Because they feel
Yeah.
they don't care. They don't believe in their fighter enough. And that's
They
the
probably
thing.
don't give a damn.
And that's and
Nah,
I-
but they should. They should, Mike.
Well,
At the end of the day,
that's
like
what really we do is disagreeing, dude. That's all it is.
it
All
may,
we
it
are
may,
is disagreeing. That's all it is.
and I agree with Tyrone in this one.
My
Mike, because
belief
it-
and
hold on,
me and L are
I-
basically saying that it matters. All we're saying is that
I'm saying,
hey, the commentary
okay,
matters
you said-
because we've seen the fallout. That's all we're saying.
what fallout? Deontay Wilder was going to be in the situation that he's in because of Deontay Wilder, whether or not you like it or not. He was going to be in this
That's what
situation.
we don't know.
And
We don't
it
know.
didn't have to
All
be-
we're saying is that
Hold on,
we think this is
Hold up,
the
and it
fallout.
didn't have to be, and it didn't have to be ESPN, and it didn't have to be this person, right? It could have been somebody else that did it. And I'm gonna say this: if that is really what their real, true opinions on Deontay Wilder is and stuff like that, I don't want it to change. I want them to tell me exactly what their thought and everything that it is. That's their opinion on him. It's not a fact with all this stuff that they're saying because they haven't even done a segment to even look it up, to even do research, to even say to disprove what he was saying. Nobody has, including Bob Arum or the Gypsy Queen. So, but at the end of the day, it's like, to me, it is as far as like, what do you want them to do to make Deontay Wilder is the real question. Do you want these guys to sit up over here and literally baby this guy, not have no constructive criticism, not have no gripes with the guy?
No, that's not what it is, Mike.
That's
I
not
don't, I don't think that.
I'm asking a real life
That's not
question.
what's going on.
Real life question. Like, what do you guys want the outcome to be from it?
No, but I don't think
I would
that.
rather have a Showtime commentary like they did versus Ortiz the first time. Did you guys not watch Ortiz 1 versus Wilder? They have Paulie going off again about breaks and whatever. But I think that's okay. But when you get into the position where ESPN, every single thing, every promo, he has YouTube sycophants, or he has this, or he has that. I didn't even hear the clip. I just heard back about it. And then they go into the fight and they talk about Wilder can't do this or he can't do that. They repeat the same thing. He has that one punch. It's so boring. Why don't they just have a decent breakdown fight like some of the other Showtime guys, you know, who do give criticism? We're not talking about guys who need to lick their balls, but what I'm saying is these guys at ESPN are known. That's their calling card, to put down guys from the outside and pull up guys from the home team. And I don't want to deal with those guys. And if we do have to deal with them, I only want one, and I want one of my guys in there to balance it out. We just can't have it where they if PBC doesn't think the commentary doesn't care, that's fine. Go ahead. But when they want to complain about their fighter being treated like this or being treated like that weeks afterwards, that's on them. They have the power to control this stuff.
And Watcher wrote, at the end of the day, I want to see two fighters go at it. That's all I truly care about at the end. No, I mean, I do care about that too, like as far as the product in the ring, no doubt. But when ESPN, I'll put it like this. When PBC gives ground, if you will, with things like this, as far as like giving over the whole commentary desk to an opposing promoter that doesn't like the fighter that they're promoting, like that they're going to be commentating on, it's either A, PBC doesn't know what the fuck they're doing, or B, whenever PBC does find the nut, it's more of a case of a clock being right twice a day, or it's more of a sheer luck. Like, I mean, and the thing is too that a lot of these people, it's that in these games of negotiations, in these games of we're not going across the street, or oh, we're only fighting in house. If you have real contention against these other promotions, fine. Like I mean, like fight in house and don't give them an inch, but don't say like like to Mike's point, like we're letting ESPN have control over the commentating desk because we want to be unbiased, and we're willing to.
No, that's not what I. That's not what I.
No,
said.
no, but like I mean,
not
like
what I said.
It may not be what you said, but I'm saying that
That's what
a
you took from
proactive negotiator would say like fuck y'all, like we're either splitting that desk down the middle, or like we're taking control of that desk because we have more hand in this promotion, and they should have had more hand in that promotion because Wilder fucked up by fighting Fury a second time when he fought him. He should have fought Fury the second time right after. And
right
if
after,
not, the people that
immediately went after,
but the people that promote Wilder should have said, "All right, fuck it, let's just fast track 50-0. Here and there, we'll fight for money, or we'll fight for pay-per-view, and sometimes we may not be able to, but it is what it is. We'll find you the money, like fucking to fight these non-pay-per-view fights. Even though he probably could have made a case for fighting pay-per-view, on track to 50-0." Even without fighting Fury. And in the midst of that, maybe before he gets to 50-0 or after he gets to 50-0, Fury would have had to come to Wilder begging for a fight. But the powers at PBC didn't see it that way. And where we are right now. Like the fact that the only concession that Wilder got from this whole PBC top rank negotiation, drawn out negotiation and court case was the fact that Wilder's going to fight Fury again a third time. Like, I mean, because even that, like in the eyes of a lot of people was questionable whether it was going to happen or not. Thankfully it did happen, but that wasn't like no reason to throw a parade like for a lot of the people that may defend the PBC. No, I mean,
you can't dictate, why somebody should be happy, man. Like let people.
I'm happy about that.
Let them if they want to parade about it, let them parade about it. But like all that concession stuff, man, is like I don't know what he got. Like we don't really we talking about something like we don't even have like all the information to even really be like stunting on these network guys and these and I don't know. It's just like one of those things is like we don't have enough information, but I mean, you guys could come up with your own opinions or call it facts or whatever, but that's just not my cup of tea to be worried about. I'm worried about like the fights that I want to see, and those guys on these little panels and stuff like that, they're not going to change anything in the sport of boxing. You know what I'm saying? They people are not going to remember that shit. These casuals are not going to remember that shit because they're fly by night. Only thing they're going to remember is who won at the end of the night.
And
honestly, Mike, like
because at the end of the day, this is it, man. Lou DiBella said something the other day. I was scrolling through boxing scene, and it's really hard. I get I try my hardest to get the negative stuff on my feed. The only stuff I hear about Counterpunch is from you, Mike, and Watcher. That's it. I don't watch his channel. I don't watch Outlaw. I don't watch Hatman. I don't watch any of those guys. They're not in my feed. I took them out of my feed because at the end of the day, this is the last hurrah. This is it. If he don't win this fight, man, it's over with. I'm sorry.
Well,
I think about Wilder like as like if he was in my family almost. It's sad that I think of a man I don't know like that, but it is to that point. Other boxers I think about they should fight the best. With him, I think about what's the best for him. I think about what would be the best for him. And him going down to fight low level guys would do nothing for him. This is a must win fight. This is it. This has to happen.
Yeah, like and not for nothing, Tyrone. Had he done like what, like maybe I would have suggested, and fucking looking for different fights after the Fury fight, part 1, when Fury didn't want to fight him again. I mean, Wilder could have taken on the Dylan Whites of the world. The the Joe Joyces of the world, fucking super fights in the UK, the Dubois of the world, maybe.
He probably could have gotten to AJ somehow. They probably could have put something.
Yeah, I mean, it would have. I mean, it would have been like when Wilder touched down in the UK for the promotion leading up to the Fury's first fight. Yo, Wilder was getting mobbed, bro. Like, and dudes were showing him love out there.
We've got people in the community, dude, like say, oh man, he can go back, he can fight White and Ruiz if he loses. I think Wilder.
No, but that's whack though.
But that's whack. This is it. This is it's if he loses this fight, I'm telling you right now, man. I don't care what nobody says, dude. It's over. Fighting at top. He'll never get a shot, and they'll age him out. He'll be done, and then they'll forget about him like they do all the other guys. And I don't want to see that happen to him, dude.
No, listen, bro.
And for me with him, so I don't think it'd be it. But hey, that's your opinion, man.
And listen to me, bro. Like, cause I gotta break out, bro. Cause my wife wants to parlay. But at the end of the day, I mean, you give me Chris Colbert or Tank Davis or fucking and I think I do a far better job at promoting one of these motherfuckers or insulating one of these motherfuckers than anything that the PBC could muster.
He's in such a bad situation right now, Wilder, because they've already PBC, just the way they treated even the second fight and this third fight, they obviously do not. I don't think they believe in him. They've already moved on to Tank. They've already preparing if they lose. You know what I mean? It's like they're not the only guys riding with him are the people on the internet here. Like it's backs against the wall, dude. It really is. I mean, people talk about, oh, it's just a fight. No, it's not just a fight. This is a must win.
I would say the only people that's riding with him is the people on his team and his fans. I wouldn't say that Shelly and Al.
They're not
because if they wasn't, he damn for sure wouldn't have won his mediation and his arbitration. He damn for sure wouldn't have won it.
Yeah, and I am Ill Will and the congregation at Ebenezer Baptist, they're gonna be fasting for 3 weeks leading up to the fight, fucking praying for Wilder to win. But yo, let me break out my friends. Michael Johnson, take the reins and let us know where we can find you, my friend.
Oh yeah, I mean it was a good conversation and all. You know, I was just giving my 3 cents. I really, have no dog in the race when it comes to commentary and all this, PBC stuff. I just want to see the fights that I want to see. And, as far as like, you brought up Counterpunch and the Outlaw guy.
I like them niggas. I don't
Hold up. People actually sent me shit and suggested that I make videos on them. I just didn't go out and start making videos on these guys. So I just want to let that be clear.
No, I don't care if you did or not. I mean, I rather you do it. I mean, like, in my eyes, like, God smiles when you expose assholes.
I wouldn't be able to do it. It's just too much for me. Those guys found themselves out. Every video they do is probably of Wilder or something like that.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying.
I'm not tripping a long time ago, a year ago, because they're net negative.
Yeah, I'm not. No, my thing is I'm not tripping. Like whether make a video about them or not. Like I mean, like at the end of the day, they're just lackluster boxing YouTube fucking personalities. They're divisive. They're fucking shitty people. So I mean, like exposing them. I mean, like you could only smile. But I mean, and again, like I used to somewhat watch Counterpunch, like when I wanted to get like pissed off. But it's been years. Like the last time, like somebody sent a video to me, he even looked a lot different than I remembered him in years past. But that, and I don't even know who Outlaw is, like the guy who just mentioned. And it's not like because I'm high society or.
Well, that's good though.
I just don't want it.
Those guys, the better. It's not even.
Yeah. Work. YouTube boxing is whack as fuck.
It is.
But yo, let the people know where we can find you, Ty.
If they ever see me make another video on my channel, I guess they can go follow my channel if they would like. But I don't know. That just the boxing. Boxing is not really all that anymore. It's just people making hate videos and response videos to other people's hate videos, and it's just a waste of time. I think it's gotten to that point now.
Word up. And I'd like to thank Fistiana, who came through earlier, LW Boxing, the watcher, who's always been a big-time contributor to this show. Should have jumped on too, watcher, but maybe next time. But and to the people on my panel, once again, I would like to thank Michael Johnson, Boxing Talk More, and Tyrone Smith. With that, I'm out, and thank you for joining me again, and I hope to catch you on the next one. Have a good night.
I'm going in, man. What?